If you're not able to connect it to any value in your future, who's telling you to change, right? That's not you. You're doing it because somebody believes you should, not because you feel like you want to actualize a new value. There's a million ways to self-improve. Find the thing that drives you. Hey everybody, it's me, Mark Matthews, psychologist and your certified high performance coach. Welcome to part 3 of our mini series on how to feel authentic. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a 3-step process that is going to help you improve any area of your life, big or small. Importantly, if you follow this process to a T, like I lay it out for you, you're going to be able to improve in a way that minimizes the discomfort that you feel, that minimizes that feeling of inauthenticity as you're navigating that change, and also maximizes the likelihood that you actually stick with this improvement. It will maximize the likelihood that you integrate that into who you are and that you actually connect that to a deeper value so that it lasts forever. What I love about meaningful self-improvement is that just the process of improving yourself becomes a way that you actualize a value of loving yourself, loving the people around you. Self-improvement is a beautiful, unbelievably powerful aspect of the human spirit. But when we don't go about it in the right ways, it becomes an oppressive force, almost like we're a tyrant to ourselves, just telling us what we need to do. I don't want you to experience any more of that, and you don't have to. All right, so let's get started. Do you remember our friend from the first video, Simon? Our foxy friend Simon, who's motivated for self-improvement and bettering himself? In this video, we're going to walk through an example where Simon's going to make a change in his life, and he's going to do it in a way that's actually enjoyable, that allows him to stick with it for the long term. So today, Simon's going to make a change in terms of his health. A lot of us can identify with times in our lives where we wished we were exercising more and maybe taking better care of ourselves. And so today, we're going to walk Simon through how would he adopt an exercise habit. Let's say Simon hasn't really spent a lot of time exercising or taking care of his body. It's something that he's always wanted to do, but he never really found himself in a community of people who do that. So it's just not been a part of who he is. Now he wants to make that change because he wants to live a healthier life. He wants to have more energy throughout his life. He also just wants to engage with his body more, honor it like a temple. All right, so let's walk Simon through how you would do this. You can pick any change that you want to make in your life. Follow right along. Follow the same steps, and it will make a difference. It will work, and you'll get to enjoy the benefits of doing so. Okay, step 1. The first thing that you have to do when you want to make meaningful improvement is you have to start with why. Now, if you've ever watched a personal development video or listened to people talk about how to make a behavior change, you will hear this over and over again. They'll say you have to identify your why. And they'll tell you, pick a reason why you really care about what you're doing. That's absolutely right. You see, there's a famous TED Talk by a guy named Simon Sinek. And he wrote a book and a couple of books related to the topic about finding your why and identifying the deeper reasons and motivation behind what you're doing. Now, the important thing about starting with why is that this process actually is the work. A lot of times people think, oh, well, if you want to develop an exercise routine, Simon the Fox, just start going to the gym. Pick 3 days to go to the gym. Do what you know how to do. Pick an exercise class. And all that's well and good. And that might even work sometimes. The problem is, though, is that when you don't have a deeper value for why you're doing those behaviors, it's hard to integrate that into your identity. And it just starts to feel like you're doing something that is not really you. You're more likely to feel inauthentic. And so that's why you start with why. You start by stacking the reasons for why you want to make this change. So for Simon, we'll say, hey buddy, what do you want to do? Like, what are you trying to do? And Simon tells us, I'm trying to develop an exercise routine. Just trying to exercise 3 times a week and start to work on my body more. That's amazing, Simon. We're super happy for you. We want to see you reach that goal. Now, Well, why do you want to do that? And the first thing you might say is, well, I just want to be healthier. Great reason. But that's not enough. You see, when you just say, I want to be healthier or I want to be happier, it's a little bit too abstract. It's not connected yet. What you have to do is you actually have to go into the future and you have to anticipate moments of value. Now, if you want to really make this change, think about what could be the most valuable moment in your life. Go back to the second video in this mini-series and actually think about those moments of value from your past. Start to think about, okay, where does that play out in the future if I build this habit? If I make this change, right? And so Simon might go into the future and he might think about having a fox family. And he might think about, if I'm in good shape, I could run around the yard and chase my kids, right? That's a huge motivator for people. And then every time he goes to, exercise, he can identify, oh my gosh, I'm doing it for my kids. If you look across the people who are the most successful in the world, you will find this consistently, that they have a deep reason for the daily actions that they're taking. For me personally, as I've been working on my PhD in psychology, I've learned the power of this. There are so many graduate students who do a degree in psychology or other areas where they're thinking, I'm gonna get a PhD and that's amazing. And it is, it's great, you got a PhD. But if you ask them, why are you getting a PhD? They start to fall flat on that answer. Because they've never really challenged themselves to think about it. A lot of them, I find, they're just like, well, because it's a good thing to do. Because it'll help me get a better career. Those are great. But what I noticed was different from me and some of my peers is I said, well, I'm here to learn everything there is to know about how people change their mind, how they grow. Because I want to know that for whatever I do in life so that I can help people along the way. So every time I faced adversity in my graduate program, I could connect with that. I could say, oh my gosh, I have a giant exam that covers a ton of topics. What do? I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all the things I'm going to learn about how to help people grow, about how people work. And that was my honest, genuine experience doing it. So when you start to do that, you start to really anticipate the value. Start to see this is more than just reading a paper for graduate school. This is more than just going to the gym. This is a meaningful contribution, a meaningful investment in something that I actually care about. I know you can do that with the things you're trying to improve on. And if there's nothing you can connect it to, pick something else. If you're not able to connect it to any value in your future, who's telling you to change, right? That's not you. You're doing it because somebody believes you should, not because you feel like you want to actualize a new value. There's a million ways to self-improve. Find the thing that drives you. So, you've anticipated moments of value. It's also important to anticipate those moments of regret. For Simon, what happens if you never develop an exercise routine? Simon might walk through that and just say, oh my gosh, when I'm older, I'm gonna have weaker bones. I'm gonna have a harder time getting around. It's gonna be harder for me to think clearly. I'm not gonna have as many enjoyable moments because I'm gonna lack vitality. I could get away with not exercising when I was younger, but as I get older, if I do that, my life quality is just gonna diminish. I don't wanna see that happen. This right here is a superpower. If you can meaningfully connect to moments that you do not want to see happen, anticipated regret, you recognize that if I never develop an exercise routine, I'm going to get progressively less healthy. I recognize if I didn't make meaningful changes in my life in several different areas, I was going to have lower quality relationships. I was going to lack fulfillment. The beauty of that, right, is that once you anticipate that, now when you make that small step, when Simon steps into the gym or does that home workout, that's an investment that protects him against that moment of regret. And so this is step one. Step one is getting really clear about your reasons, your deep driving force behind why you're doing the actions you're doing. And you must write this down. Put it in your phone. Put it somewhere where you are going to be able to see it and connect with it. Because that's what you're going to rely on to keep you going when things get difficult. You're going to remember that this is more than just an exercise routine. This is more than just a half hour of personal development time each day, whatever you pick, whatever you want to improve on. This is an investment that I care about. And every time I do it, I'm actualizing that value that matters to me. In fact, I'm being courageous as I choose to actualize a value that I haven't been connected with as much as I wanted to. And I'm working on that. All right, so you've done step one, you've got your why. At least you got a why in the works. Step two is one of the best pieces of advice I have ever received in my entire life. It's the concept of bright lines. Bright lines are where you make it absolutely clear what actions are on the path to your goal and what actions take you off the path. If you want to learn about this concept in depth, then watch this video by Tom Bilyeu, the owner of Impact Theory. I'll give you the gist of it right here. Bright lines is your strategy. When you create a strategy, you want to be crystal clear about what is within the strategy and what is not. What is within your path and what is not. Because the problem that people have in making self-improvement is that they don't get clear about what's on the path. Then they deviate off the path and they change the path till eventually they're not actually improving anymore. They just work themselves in a circle to get right back where they were in the first place. And they never generate momentum, so they never feel the joys of improving. So for Simon, bright lines means creating a clear action plan. It can be simple. Simon might say, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week, do a fitness class. That's it. That's what we're going to do for a first action. Now, the key thing with bright lines are, you got to say 3 days a week, not 2, maybe not even 4. You might say, I'm sticking with 3. I'm not even going to do extra right now. Then you pick the time, right? I'm going to do that for 4 weeks. You might say, Mark, you're just teaching us how to set goals. It's like, I know this, I understand. You do. You do know this. You do completely understand this. But for most people, they never actually sat down and said, this is my bright lines that I don't deviate from. And so what ends up happening is that they slowly compromise themselves until they don't get to where they wanted to go. So the way to use bright lines is to set that plan, but here's the secret. You follow that plan for a minimum of 2 weeks, ideally 4, and you do not evaluate whether that plan is working until you've done that successfully. You see, this is where you actualize a value of integrity. And the beauty of this is exactly how you build self-confidence too. Have you ever wanted to feel more confident in yourself? Feel like you actually are capable of actualizing the dreams that you want to manifest? This is how you do it. You say, I'm going to the gym for 3 days a week. You go for at least 2 weeks straight, and then you evaluate, is this good? Should I be going 4? Should I be doing something else? I recommend doing at least a month and then reevaluate. You see, you have to evaluate whether your strategy works after you've actually tried it. And too many people, they do like 2 days and they're like, no, I don't like it. It was a bad strategy. I should have done something else. That's fine. Work the bad strategy for 2 weeks, a month, then evaluate. Because what you'll find is a lot of times what you think is a bad strategy is just the discomfort of change. And it's your brain saying, oh, I got to get out of this because this is different. No, you don't. Get to the end of it, see where you're at. And then you might find out, oh, I was adapted to it. It's actually great. This is a good strategy. I'm going to stick with it. Okay, and I'm going to give you a mantra right now that if you incorporate this mantra in your life, it will radically change the way you approach self-improvement. It will radically change the way that you approach life in general. And that mantra is simple. It's fail, don't quit. A failure is when you give your best effort at something and you haven't yet gained the ability to do it fully or succeed. And so you fail while giving your best effort. When you fail in that way, you learn. This is where failure is powerful. This is where you actually incorporate lessons. You go back to the drawing board, you revise your strategy, and you go back at it, right? That's amazing. Failure is great in that way. Quitting is when you give up. You didn't reach your limit. You didn't try your best. You quit because you wanted to do something else. When you quit, the problem is that your brain then learns that whatever change you were trying to make It's actually not something you should be doing. It learns that if you give up on this, you get to feel better. You actually create a feedback loop that tells you, oh, do a hard thing, quit on it, then feel good about escaping whatever you were trying to do. But don't trick yourself and lie to yourself and say that quitting is failure. It's not the same thing. It's much worse. It's negative. It should lead to moments of regret. Okay, now I know I got a little preachy about that topic there because it's really important. As a coach, I recognize that this is where people make so many mistakes and it compromises the quality of their life over and over and over again. So when Simon goes to the gym, says I'm gonna go 3 days a week, he's gonna go 3 days a week. Once he hits that consistently, did what he said he's gonna do, after a month, he's gonna say, should I change my strategy? And then he'll pick another strategy that's more aligned with his goals. He'll look at how things are going and he'll readjust. And he'll do the same process over and over again. All right, step 3. Step 3 is you're gonna activate your growth mindset. I recently posted a video on the growth mindset. You can find that here. That video walks through exactly how to cultivate a growth mindset and how to actually make it work. There's a ton of videos, and I'll actually link a playlist here with all the growth mindset videos that I've found on YouTube that start to explain the concept. But what they fail to do is actually articulate how to make the growth mindset work. You see, a mindset is a way of thinking. But for it to work, you have to know how to activate that way of thinking at the appropriate time. And so for a lot of people that know that they should be focused more on the journey instead of the destination, but what ends up happening is that when they're actually in the middle of the journey, all they can think about is the destination. And so they're not activating the mindset when it matters. And so please go watch that video if you want to learn how to adopt a growth mindset. For the purpose of this video, for making self-improvement, the cool thing is all you gotta do is activate that growth mindset anytime discomfort comes your way. The beauty is that when you experience discomfort in a growth mindset, that actually means that you're on the path to growing. You're on the path to becoming the person that you want to be. That's growing pains, right? We've all heard of that idea. That's what happens, but you only get that experience from a growth mindset. If you experience the opposite of a growth mindset, a fixed mindset, now it feels like you're not good enough, like you're inadequate, like this isn't for you, and it also makes your self-esteem drop because you're not automatically winning or automatically just easily becoming who you want to be. All right, so you got 3 steps here that if you walk through, if you start with why and you really get clear about the values your behavior is linked to and the things you're trying to avoid so that you don't have regrets in the future, if you do that and then you create bright lines, a clear strategy about where you're trying to go and whatever change you're trying to make in your life, and then finally you activate that growth mindset throughout the process, you're going to feel authentic. Simon is going to go to the gym and he might have a day where he's like, I'm not doing well at this dance fitness class that they're having me do, but you know what? At least I'm here and I'm trying my best and I'm listening to the instructor and I'm trusting that if I keep trying these things out, I'll get progressively better at being healthy, which is the real change he wanted to make. I'll be getting better for the people I love, for my future family. That's what he gets to say. That's what he gets to think. That's a powerful feeling. That's meaning. That's purpose. That's literally the juice of life. All right, so this process can be done in as little as an hour. I know there's a lot of information here and I really appreciate you taking it in. It does take a certain level of information to figure out how to make meaningful change in your life, but the process is simple. Just get one moment of value, one moment of regret. Link it to whatever strategy you think is best. Try the strategy out. Actually complete it for 2 weeks. Reflect. Change in a way that you think is going to help you better go about the process. And then adopt a growth mindset so the experience itself is worthwhile. The experience itself is meaningful. Thank you so much for going through this video and for investing time in yourself to embrace self-improvement. Please like this video. Go ahead and comment. What are you trying to change? What's an improvement you'd like to make? Maybe you're just contemplating improvement. Well, what is it? And also, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. I live for this. I live for helping people actualize their potential It's the best part of my life. So please share that with me. I'm happy to cheer you on and help you along the way. And subscribe to this channel if you like being part of a growth-oriented community, if you want support in becoming the best version of yourself. Join up with us. Let's be friends along this path. Let's make it an amazing journey. As always, I love you. Thank you for being here.